Let the show begin, I guess. Welcome to the stream. Today we're going to be taking on the next part of the Lantern Festival event. And also, we'll keep going with the story, considering the event will probably not take too much time. Last time I decided not to read the next part. Bauer does indeed have a new voice actor again. Me! Light upon the sea. Lantern Rite is still ongoing, and will be ongoing for a while still, it seems. With the help of Shao, Kea, and the Millelith, you have foiled a plot, in quotation marks, that has left you not knowing whether to laugh or cry, and have succeeded in bringing the foolish criminal behind it to justice and handing them over to the Millelith. Today, you prepare to go to Wangshu Inn to report the results of the matter to Shao, as you agreed. And this is where we are right now, right in front of...
I wonder when I'll be as tall as my big sister.
Right in front of Wangshu Inn. So let's go in. We need to go to the very top. Lantern right, lantern left, lantern everywhere. Indeed.
Go, Barbara, go!
If you're wondering what I have been doing off-screen, aside from training my characters, the events related, the quests related to the event that I deem not important enough to show, involve going around the world and hanging up these lanterns. Usually involved with helping someone out and doing a good deed. I too wish that I could be running as long as these characters without running out of breath. But there's a limit to even them. That was not what I wanted to click. I wanted to get my path back.
Go, Barbara, go!
Are you actually on the roof this time? Where I mistakenly went last time? It seems like it. No. I would have been wrong again. I think. He's pretty high up. Oh. I think this terrace is where we met him the first time.
So is the matter resolved?
We took care of it, but...
Good.
Are you really not going to see the Mingxia lantern?
No. As I said, I am not partial to crowded areas, especially at this time of the year.
The Mingxia lantern this year is Skybracer.
Yeah, it's a super impressive looking giant deer. Let's go take a look together.
Skybracer. Huh. A Mingxiao lantern nonetheless. A fleeting creation of human hand. It means nothing to me. If this short-lived spectacle is one you wish to witness, I suggest you go to the city.
Oh, he really won't go. Unless... Let's
think the boss...
She might have a few tricks
Yes.
up her sleeve.
She usually does. I mean, she has a cat.
Sounds like you and Xiao took care of business again.
As usual.
Word certainly got around. The news even reached us here.
And yet another year's lantern rite will soon be over. And he still won't go and take a look.
All these long years, and I've never seen him attend the Lantern Rite. I'd go as far as to say it'd be easier bringing the festival to him than the other way around.
He might run away if you do that.
Bring the festival to him.
Nice idea.
Yeah, if Xiao won't go to the lantern rite, then let's bring the lantern rite to him.
Sorry, surely you realize I was joking. How would you bring the Lantern Rite to him exactly?
When we were in the city checking out the festivities, we learned how to make Xiao lanterns. We even found a food stall serving local delicacies. So much tasty food! So many pretty Xiao lanterns! Not to mention, what else? Oh, the bygone heroes! His old friends! Aren't those the heart and soul of the Lantern Rite?
You're not wrong, but where would we settle that up?
Now that you mention it, I wonder. We need enough space to set up our own stall. There might just be enough room below the inn. Hey, let's take a look and choose a space. I believe I know the kind of stall you're after. There should be a few styles we can reference. Let me think.
Let's find a good spot for a
Let's
stall, I
where
guess.
from.
Found one. Lots of open space.
This is too close to the elevator entrance. I think we can do better.
Welcome. Take a seat, please.
How about this? By all the tables. Where it will not bother anyone. Also, I'm gonna take your sunset here. You didn't pay for those anyways.
No, here we be constantly interrupted by the foot traffic.
After peak season, nothing will sell.
Nobody goes down here.
Here's not too bad. And it's safely away from all the foot traffic. Fitting choice. We've got ourselves a nice spot. Now we need to build a proper stall. I've thought about it, and I believe I know roughly how to go about it. If you'll excuse me for a moment, I'll try to figure out where to start. And voila! A little rough around the edges, but it should serve us well. What do you think?
Think you've missed your true calling. Such expert carpentry.
It's no big deal. Just a little bit of DIY that I picked up years ago. I've forgotten most of it, actually. Well, we can check the stall off our to-do list. It looks quite festive decorated with that Xiao lantern, wouldn't you say?
You know how to make shower lanterns too?
Well, yes, but in my generation, it's just the norm for everyone who grew up in Liyue. Anyway, speaking of festivities, no celebration is complete without a feast. Do you know what you would like on the menu?
Everything.
Almond tofu, that's for sure. We've made it for Xiao before.
And grilled tigerfish.
Almond tofu and grilled tigerfish. What an interesting combination of flavors. I'll have a word with Smiley Yan Xiao. He should be able to rustle those up in no time. Luckily, the inn's pantry contains all the necessary ingredients. Oh, it's about time to summon our honored guest. Could you fetch him? The food should be ready by the time you come down.
So, all the way up again? Sure looks like it. Let's take the elevator this time. If it comes at a reasonable time. Going up.
What now?
We'd like you to come to Lantern Rite with us.
We've had the talk about crowded places. Do not make me repeat myself. Best you go alone.
I didn't say you have to go to Liyue Harbor.
What is that supposed to mean?
You wouldn't go to the festival, so we brought the festival to you.
You brought the festival to me?
Okay, so there's a bunch of delicious snacks just laid out below the inn, and a bunch of Xiao lanterns, and there's practically no one else around to have to worry about.
There's even almond tofu and grilled tigerfish.
Better hurry up, or the food's gonna go cold. Come on down.
Let's have a date.
Ta-da! Your very own miniature Lantern Rite Festival! Well, if it doesn't look mouth-watering.
So this is what you meant by bringing the festival to me? Is there no end to the peculiarities of human behavior?
Don't be so edgy about it.
Does it serve any grander purpose?
Lantern Rite is meant to include everyone.
Is that so? Human motives defy my attempts to fathom them.
Less fathoming, more eating! Come on, dig in before it gets cold! Okay, Paimon's gonna concentrate on eating now. Now that we're done with the most important part of the celebration, we should be heading out to see the Ming Xiao Lantern.
Come with us, Xiao.
You may take your leave. There's nothing for me over there.
Oh, Vigilant Yaksha, please escort us safely to the city.
Yeah, the Ming Xiao Lantern may not be your thing, but surely there's no harm in taking a walk with us. The road from here to Liyue Harbor is long and full of dangers. We need someone to ensure our safety. Nobody says you have to enter the city. You can just see us off at the outskirts.
Today is Border Xiao Day.
So be it. I shall accept your proposal.
There you go. All right, time to hit the road.
Thanks for accompanying us through the teleport. Conveniently, we need to go right to the teleport spot.
This is as far as I will go. Please see yourselves into the city.
Never mind, you can see it from here.
You are obviously one of the heroes this festival is all about. Why don't you want to get involved?
I detest the rabble. No cares in the world. So peaceful, so joyful. They are nothing like me.
You sure are not joyful.
Too long have I spent slaughtering, accompanied by the burden of suffering that follows in its wake. Crossing paths with all those jubilant people will only make me... That's all I have to say. Farewell.
Are you sure you don't want to go with us?
Are you really so enamored with such trivial amusements?
What do you think?
Hey, this is a legitimate festival, not some trivial amusement.
Legitimate. Enough. Go watch your lanterns. But stay vigilant. Keep your eyes open for any menace. If you find yourself in trouble, speak my name.
Sure you'd make it into the city in time to come to the rescue?
Anywhere, anytime. Whether yours or Liyue's, I hear all cries for help, all prayers for peace, and all the wishes carried by the lanterns. Whether yours or Liyue's,
Guess we'll leave you to it. Things with the Fatui have not changed here. We're gonna look at that later. Yes, we should have just kicked him off the cliff. Would have served him right.
I've got a bunch of interesting gadgets. So you enjoyed after all. Oh dear, indeed. Light upon the sea, complete.
Now isn't this lively?
Actually, this might be the final part, because there is no waiting anymore. I guess we can do this one. Lantern Rite Tales 3, Guests in Quincy. Wang Ya has something to say to you at Wangshu Inn. Those things never really end, do they?
I haven't been out in a while.
That deer very well had TNT inside. That was a very nice firework. No, 61 meters down. Let's jump. That should be enough. What are you going to do? I'm surprised to see you here. You still remember I invited Queen Xiao and Mr. Bohuan to Qingce village, right? They've headed there already. Meet them there if you want to join. I still have something to do here. I'll make my way to Qingce village as soon as I'm done. I feel like you're never done. I can't help it. The overload at the Ministry of Civil Affairs during the Lantern Rites is unbelievable. The Ministry of Civil Affairs is transporting some festival supplies today, and Wangshu Inn happens to be a transit station. Since I'm here, I promised them that I'd monitor the transfer of goods. You can go to Qingce village first and wait for their arrival. Making an inventory shouldn't take me that long. Let's find Mr. Bohuan. Also, can't cancel that. Apparently I can't. Okay. Canceling has been cancelled. Not bad. In fact, your calligraphy is the best I've ever seen. Aha, that's very nice of you to say. I'm afraid that's the best I can do. Would you like anything else written? I see that you're all set up. Ah, it's you. Just got here. My calligraphy is actually in great demand. I need to pick up my pace if I want to assist all those people. Queen Shou is here too. Have you seen him since you came? He's not with you. We traveled to Qingce village together, but he seems very perturbed all the way here. I asked what troubled him, but he only sighed and said that he lost inspiration. When I finally got here, I got straight to writing, and he said he wanted to look around, so we parted ways. Perhaps the villagers know where he is. You'd better ask around. While you're at it, I could use your help with returning these adorned shower lanterns to their owners. Let me mark the locations for you. Still have a lot of writing to do here, so I'll leave the lantern delivery to you. Uncle Gust, I have a lantern for you. What is it, youngster? About the shore lanterns with Mr. Bohuan's calligraphy. Oh, right. I did ask that gentleman to make an inscription for me. That's it, isn't it? Nicely done. Thank you for bringing it to me. I still need to thank that calligrapher too. Have you seen Qing Xiao by any chance? King Shao, do you mean that famous poet? I saw him around here with a huge frown on his face. He seemed really upset. Ah, that's all I know. Maybe someone else will be able to point you to him. Next, Master Lu. Here's a book I don't have yet. Welcome to Funmo Carpenters. Anything you'd like to order? About the show lantern with Mr. Buhuan's calligraphy. It's done. Let me take a look. That's quite something, a fine piece of writing. Have you seen King Shao by any chance? Ah, that poet. I saw him earlier with some kids who were following him around, chasing him. I wish I could tell you more. Perhaps other villagers will be of more help. Next, Hang Feng. Bit farther away. Hang Feng, the Cold Blade. Oh, hello. Can I help you with something? About the shower lanterns with Mr. Buhuan's calligraphy. Oh, is it ready? Let me see. Oh, my, this is lovely. That gentleman is blessed with amazing talent. Have you seen King Shao by any chance? King Shao? Yes, I've seen him. He just passed by here with a bunch of children. He said they were going to play some games. Oh, isn't it? You wouldn't expect such a renowned poet to entertain children that way. You shouldn't have too much trouble finding him. Just go that way. Thanks. That's even farther away. Isn't there a teleport up there? Yes, there is. I wonder what Uncle Quishao's next riddle will be. I'm definitely gonna solve this one. I'll try my hardest. Riddles, you say? This will not work. Need to be more elaborate. No, another dead end. Something too cryptic would only alienate my little audience. What are you up to? Oh, it's you, my liege. I'm crafting lantern riddles for these children. Lantern what? You're not familiar with those, I presume. You may consider it a game of sorts. Each shower lantern has a short riddle inscribed upon it. The person who solves the riddle can take the lantern it was written on. At present, I'm trying to perfect these riddles, and as if it wasn't enough, my little friends also insist on adding additional loot for correct solutions. Loot? How do they even know of such expressions? What about your competition with Vermeer? Competition? James will say this. The matter has been on my mind ever since we agreed upon it. But no matter where I look, I cannot seem to find even an ounce of inspiration. I have no idea what kind of poem would be a worthy depiction of both Liyue's harbor and the Lantern Rite. Truth be told, that was the reason why I accepted Wang Ya's invitation. I had hoped that maybe here I'd collect some materials to find my muse. Are the lantern riddles supposed to help you with that? Ah ha ha, do not worry about me, my liege. My writer's block has not got the best of me just yet. Those lantern riddles, however, have nothing to do with finding inspiration. I felt really bad for these children. They have no one to entertain them or take them on a holiday outing in this place, completely bereft of any festive atmosphere as it is. Just wanted to amuse them with my riddles as it starts raining suddenly, so that they can participate in Lantern Rite like the rest of us. Anyway, I just came up with 3 riddles. Now I just need 3 shower lanterns. Would you be kind enough to bring me 3 sets of shower lantern materials, my liege? Let's soak in riddles. Have you collected 3 sets of shower lantern materials yet? We need 3 of each, and I have slightly more than 3 of each. Very slightly more. You're most capable indeed. I just need a moment to make those lanterns, then we can write the riddles on them. Alright. This should do it. These shower lanterns are getting super soaked right now. I'm from Liyue after all. Making shower lanterns runs in our blood, although my technique isn't the greatest. Our pockets are most capable, yes. Our little friends are ready to take their shot at the riddles. Why don't you stay and cheer for them? Guess the first lantern riddle. What are they guessing? This is so hard. Bamboo tube, powered stone. What does it mean? A string. Where does that fit in? Rock-hard flesh and bamboo bones. Lives in the city with thousands of clones. Rock-hard flesh with bamboo bones. Lives in the city with thousands of clones. Why, you little... Pitch black sea marks the end of its flight. Within its body hides resplendent light. That's what a lantern riddle is? Too difficult for Paimon's little brain. Do you have any clue what the answer might be? Rock-hard flesh and bamboo bones. Lives in the city with thousands of clones. Pitch black sea marks the end of its flight. Within its body hides resplendent light. Yes, it's surely Paimon. Boiled fish. Shower lanterns. It's Mayumi. Correct. You guessed right. Shower lanterns have bamboo frames and insides made of rock. They float in the sky after release. You do not find them in the wild, and that's why each one lives in the city. Even though the chunk of floor strut inside is not easily damaged, a lampshade can break. Once released, the shower lantern may fall into the sea, which marks the end of its flight. Even so, the wishes committed to the lanterns will not perish, which is symbolized by the resplendent light. I wouldn't have thought about it at all. Big sister, you're so smart, so you should take this gift. A friend said that you should always get some loot. For guessing the right answer, this can be your loot. We got a bird egg! A bamboo tube with powdered stone burns in the night as bright as the sun. It roars like thunder, very frightened, but it summons ash instead of lightning. This one seems really simple if you think hard enough. It's a gun. Bamboo tube with a powdered stone. Burns in the night as bright as the sun. It roars like thunder, very frightening, but it summons ash instead of lightning. Shower lanterns! Baron Bunny. Firecrackers, yes. Correct, you guessed right. Must have been a fairly simple one. Bamboo tube, powdered stone, burns in the night. Then, clap of thunder, firecrackers is the only possible answer. Oh, of course! How did I not get that? Since you solved the riddle, here's your reward. One frog! Can't I have at least some bull horns? These kids are so dumb. Watch me rise from one min and ride the wind of Shuoyun. But if my string is broken, I flail and plummet to oblivion. What does that mean? Watch me rise from one min and ride the wind to Shuoyun. If my string is broken, I flail and plummet to oblivion. Adventurer using a wind glider. Kites! Correct! You guessed right. You have to ride the wind if you want to get as high as Shuoyun. You control it with a string, so naturally it must be a kite. What? How does that work? Oh, I guess it must be. How did you get it? Must be super smart. It helps that I get free choices. Did you get free choices? Since you solved the riddle, here's your reward. One potato! Ring Shao, these children don't have any good prizes. Give me a better prize. Actually, I will be taking these apples. You must have a sharp mind if you manage to solve all 3 riddles. So, although typically the one who solves the riddle gets 3 shower lanterns, I'm afraid I simply can't give you these shower lanterns here. It would ruin my hands if I were to try and make 3 more. Please take these instead. These children don't seem ready to stop just yet. It seems like 3 riddles were not enough. I'll have to come up with a few more. So about your poetic inspiration. Imagine answering Paimon and not getting an egg. That would be tragic. Oh, don't read too much into it. That was just a little idea I came up with. It's nothing serious, but these children are waiting very expectantly for me to give them lantern riddles. I'll keep entertaining them until they've had enough. When the painter comes, I'll let him know. Would you look at the time? Vanya should be arriving any moment now. Please, could you receive her on my behalf? I shall continue entertaining these children with my lanterns. In the rain. Vanya, save me from the riddles. Well, I'm here. Traveler, have you seen Kring Shao and Mr. Bohan? About those 2? I see. Great! I thought that nobody would make arrangements if I wasn't here. The Ministry of Civil Affairs has quite a lot of goods for distribution. It's taken me a long time to count them all up. I came here as soon as I finished. Don't think I'd end up being so late. But from the sound of it, everything's under control and I don't need to do anything. I'll go and see them in a bit. Let's take a walk first. Qingse village. I actually came here as a child a few times. Always liked the tofu here, and the little wooden carvings. Surroundings here quite beautiful too. In the past, a lot of people thought it was great living here. So, what happened? Well, for older people, Qingse village is a calm and easygoing place to live. Everything is familiar and things don't change much. Stay here a while and you might even start wondering whether time has stopped. But it's maybe not the best place for young people. For a variety of reasons, most of the young people from Qingse village have moved to Liyue harbor, leaving only the old people and young children behind. What reasons exactly? It's a long story, hard to explain. Let's keep walking. To sum up, for one reason or another, Qingse village has slowly become a village for the elderly and for the kids. When the festive season comes around, it's difficult for them to create a really celebratory atmosphere here. The Ministry of Civil Affairs always arranges to send supplies over, but that's really all we can do for them as outsiders here. I think that what they really need is the company of their family. Without your family around you, all the material wealth, all the organized entertainment in the world is just... family. Sorry, it's just I deal with things like this all the time. I guess when I'm not careful, I just start talking about heavy topics. On the bright side, Qingse village is much more festive than usual this year, with Qingxiao, Mr. Bohorn and you here. Thanks again for help, traveler. What about your family? It can't be helped. The Ministry of Civil Affairs delivers supplies to many places during the Lantern Rite, and I still have my part to do. Some of the places are so far away that I'll bet you've never even heard of them. And it's not just me. Many of my colleagues are out delivering Shao Lanterns too. Our hopes and our duty is to deliver Shao Lanterns to all, so everyone can experience the festival spirit. But as for me, I'm a bit of an exception. I don't get to go home during the festive period. In a good year, I get to take a few days off near the end of the festival and spend some time with my family. They are generally very understanding about it, but I suspect that this time my mother's going to nag me about it. Well, I'll have to get back to work shortly. You should make the most of everything going on during the festival. Happy Lantern Rite. And then that unlocks some more small quests. The Lumi screen number 3. Padaquian from the Liyue Adventure Guild is still inviting people to try and play with the Lumi screen. I'm just looking if any of them sound interesting. The festival is in full swing, but Sea of Qingse village is trying to remedy a herb-related predicament. Something seems to be bothering Granny Ruishin from Qingse village. Miss Spy from Qingse village seems to be making some preparations. Painter Vermeer seems to be looking for Qingxiao. Seems like all of these are from here. Let's do some story, and maybe we'll find some time for these later. But I don't think they are too interesting. So let's go to the Heart of Glaze instead. Actually, Stand By Me is also available now. But it costs 1,000 to get one of these characters. The only one I'm missing is this dude. And I'm not highly interested in getting him, Shongyun. So I'll probably be getting a second Xinyan. Or third. I'm not entirely sure how many of her I already have. But no matter. Let us move to the Golden House and meet Childe to resolve the Fatui problem in Liyue Harbor. I'm surprised I completely missed the Golden House for so long, considering how big it is. But it is between all those mountains, and I guess I didn't fly from up here too much. Enter the Golden House. The Golden Shadow! Your pursuit of the truth brings you to the very heart of the political storm that has been slowly brewing in Liyue Harbor. It is time to peer beyond the glittering gold and see what lurks in the shadows. Commended party level 30. Well, guess we are beyond that.
Wow! This is the Golden House?
Sure looks very golden. Even more so inside than outside.
It looked impressive enough from the outside, but who would have guessed that it was even fancier on the inside? And so full of Mora!
Let's just take a handful, nobody will notice.
This is where all of Teyvat's Mora is minted, right? In that case, maybe they won't notice if a few Mora go missing.
Touch a single Mora and we're done for. If it were that easy, this place would have been emptied long ago.
Oh, so it's a trap! Tricky, tricky. Good thing Paimon's got you here. But even if we can't take any, we can still have a closer look, right? Or better yet, take a nap on top of a mountain of Mora. It's like a dream come true.
We'd better check on the Exuvia first.
Oh, right. Back to business. It's quiet. Too quiet. Surely someone's gotta be guarding something as important as the Exuvia. Huh? Look! What happened here?
The Millelith. They've been knocked unconscious.
Uh-oh. Paimon smells trouble.
I smell gold.
Quick! We have to go make sure that the Exuvia is all right.
Examine the Exuvia. That sure is a lot of Mora. And even more Mora.
You've already fulfilled your task as guides, so why do you still linger here? Haven't you already seen enough trouble for today?
There's never enough trouble with us.
Huh? Who's there?
If you were Fatui, I imagine that you would be entitled to a generous reward from the Tsaritsa herself. But now, you're nothing but dross, and you're in my way.
How did you find out it was here? Anyway, it looks like I was just in time then.
Although I'm deeply grateful to you that I was able to effortlessly find this secret location, don't you think that trying to stop me now would just be wasted effort? Stopping the Mora Mints, hiding away the Exuvia. The Chising are really pulling out all the stops this time.
So you've been planning to take the Gnosis from inside the Exuvia all along?
As one of the 11 Fatui Harbingers, it's my duty to see the will of the Tsaritsa fulfilled. She will get that which she desires.
I won't allow you to get near the Exuvia.
I'm not asking for your blessing, and there's nothing you can do to stop me anyway.
You think so?
The time for discussion and diplomacy has already passed. I mean, if it were up to me, I would have skipped that stage to begin with. But I'm willing to do as the Tsaritsa deems fit. Either way, we now come to my favorite part. A simple pleasure, and one that I am oh so delighted to be sharing with you. The battle.
This smells like a boss fight.
Battle? So you're the type that goes looking for trouble, huh?
You could say that. When Signora offended the deities outside the cathedral in Mondstadt, she swiftly left the scene once her mission was accomplished.
Well, I'm glad we stopped last time where we did.
Instead of confronting you directly, she chose to rely on the snow and ice to make her escape. She wouldn't want the knights to come running towards the sound of battle now, would she? When she faces a worthy opponent, she will prioritize her mission, weigh the outcomes, and consider the consequences of her actions. But as for me, the greatest pleasure of being a Harbinger lies in crossing blades with strong opponents.
We won't let what happened in Mondstadt ever happen again!
Oh, so you intend to fight me? Good. I won't kill you, Traveler. I'll just play along, to feel the thrill of battle. Besides, you could never defeat me, not even in your wildest dreams. But hey, try to relish the fight anyway, because if you ask me, without that, what else is there?
I could never defeat you. You're completely delusional.
Fighting talk, I love it. Now let's see you live up to it. This chance is hard to come by, so show me all you've got. So very few ever get the chance to square off with the Fatui Harbinger. So come now, amuse me, and don't you dare disappoint.
It seems this level has scaled with me.
First passable effort. Poor timing. Run all you like.
Aw.
How unbecoming. You're wide open.
Animal test
Try
6308.
this. Burst forth. Ha! Ha! Astral Voyager.
Whoa! That was a whale of a time.
Absorption test. Animal test 6308.
Ready?
Animal
You've
test
made some
6308.
progress. How
La
unbecoming.
la la. Animal hypostasis emulation. Yeah, stand clear. Yeah.
Burst forth.
Laser delight.
Celestial Voyager.
Come on, we can do it. Let the show begin. Dumpy dumpy go. Yeah. Pew.
Give up already.
Stand clear.
How unbecoming. Not bad, not bad. Not bad. You've got a trick or two.
What now?
Good. No wonder Senora was so wary of you. Well, that just means I can go all out. Brace yourself. This is about to get tough.
Electricity now?
Show me what you can do against the might of a Harbinger. Moment of birth. Crush you. Burst forth.
Dumpy dumpy go.
Well,
I wanna go home now. Absorption test.
Live. You've got some skills. Got you. Witness my great undertaking. Your turn. Live.
Animal test 6308. Stand clear. Animal hypostasis emulation.
Not bad. Your swordsmanship is quite impressive. But that's about as far as you'll get. Didn't think you had that card hidden up your sleeve.
You were just playing us to get close to the Exuvia!
Oh, quiet down. Stop acting like some wide-eyed recruit. You've seen this world. You of all people should know. This should have been expected. Well then, I'll be taking Morax's Gnosis now. I see. Well, this is most unexpected. You beat me to it, didn't you?
Good time for lag as usual.
Not bad. But this is going to cost you! Yeah!
Oh, and you didn't heal me. Great.
Let's dance!
You got to the Gnosis ahead of me, didn't you? Did you simply move faster? Or did you leak the information regarding the Golden House to me on purpose? No matter. Hand the Gnosis over, now! Don't make me take it from you!
We didn't take it!
But who did?
Ready, steady, go! Dumpy Dumpty go! Dumpy Dumpty go! Absorption test.
Come into being. Feel this ancient power. Ha! Live! Ha! Come into being. Ha! Come into being. Ha!
Absorption test. Absorption test. Enhanced animal module 75. Blazing delight! Woo!
Still having a whale, huh?
Was an accident.
Yep, totally an accident. It's not a good day to be Glee, I guess.
Stand clear. Stand clear. Don't break my...
Die.
I'd rather not die here.
Stand clear.
Where are you? Okay. Not going well.
Burst forth. Moment of birth.
Well, at least I avoided that for once.
Burst forth.
He has a nice cape. I'll give him that much.
I'll protect us.
Burst forth, die here.
Middle. That wasn't fast enough.
Burst forth.
Well,
Go, Barbara, go!
go, Barbara, go.
Go, Barbara, go!
Good thing about Barbara, she's hard to kill. Can I somehow get her back to her ultimate so she can heal everyone?
Let's dance.
Before she dies herself.
Go, Barbara, go!
And it's gonna be close.
Let the show begin. Ready, steady, go!
Ready?
Go! Da da da! Pew! Animal test 6308. Yeah, swirl, Mark 2. My research has failed.
You're a cut above.
Yes, panting is correct. That was harder than expected. Natalia, die here. Player, no, I have an egg. Maybe even a rotten egg.
Look! Childe's back to normal again!
Define normal.
Well then, time to cool off. It seems the burden of the foul legacy transformation was too great for my body. I lacked the opportunity to think this through. And now that I consider the matter more carefully, you never had any chance of beating me to the Gnosis.
You should think first and fight later.
You had no connection to the Gnosis, no matter where it had been taken.
That's what we've been trying to tell you! We didn't take it!
Your show of ability today far surpasses that of Signora's initial assessment of you in Mondstadt. Tell me, how could that be?
Because I'm collecting the powers of the 7 elements.
You already know the answer, don't you? I can see it in your eyes. But if that is a secret you wish to keep, I guess I'll just have to curb my curiosity. This battle has already left me satisfied. Anyone who strives as I do to grow stronger shall be called a friend, even if our friendship can only be shown in battle against one another.
Pretty sure that's not the normal way to make friends.
That's a pretty weird way to make friends.
Unfortunately, I must bring this amiable conversation to an end. My quest still beckons. Given that the Gnosis wasn't taken by anyone, then we must look once again to the beginning. Perhaps it was never in the Exuvia to begin with. In fact, it might be that the Exuvia was just a diversion of sorts.
What? So you mean that...
The corpse was fake?
Yes, it appears so. Interesting to say the least. It seems that the guardian deity of the capital of commerce is also well versed in little maneuvers beyond the boundaries of contracts. As such, we must now look to our backup plan.
Backup plan?
I had hoped it would never come to this. I absolutely detest working with those who are weaker than I. The truth is, the world belongs to those of us who desire to become strong. I seldom willingly mingle with any dull and boring weaklings who think otherwise. Unfortunately, we cannot be picky about our methods as Fatui Harbingers. Children must all learn to eat their vegetables sometime.
Yep, child, you gotta learn.
So what are you planning to do?
I will awaken the god that lies dormant beneath Guyon's stone forest.
A god?
Osile, overlord of the Vortex, who was defeated by Morax, the Geo-Archon in the Archon War, and who has remained pinned beneath the waves by the Geo-Archon's stone spears ever since. If such an ancient god were to be unleashed upon Liyue Harbor, defenseless without the protection of its deity, do you think the cunning Rex Lapis would just stand aloof and watch the ensuing destruction?
But the Archon War ended 2,000 years ago. How can an ancient god appear in a world now overseen by the Seven?
Yeah, I also thought it very smart of him to tell us about this instead of just doing it.
Simple. I've already prepared the means to awaken it.
Unless we can do it in a way where we can stop him.
Hey, those are sigils of permission!
They sure made a lot of copies of those.
Oh, Paimon remembers now. The Fatui have been researching them.
You've been trying to duplicate them.
Indeed. The one that was given to you was just a byproduct of our research. With the power of so many sigils of permission concentrated in one place, along with that which was bestowed upon me as a harbinger by our Tsaritsa, breaking the subduing might of the Geo-Archon spears for a time should be no obstacle. Using the powers of ancient gods in such a situation fails to interest me, and is largely against my principles. But knowing that such an action will not only force the Geo-Archon to show its hand, but you as well, that makes matters a little more intriguing. Let's see. Will the nation that has lost its deity be swallowed up by an ancient malice once more? If you wish to drown together with the people of Liyue, you're free to stay and enjoy the show.
Huh? He's already gone. That guy is fast. What's going on?
Definitely glad that this wasn't our cliffhanger. If it even would have allowed me to stop.
Paimon's exhausted. If we hadn't happened to see the Jade Chamber flying over just as we came out of the Golden House, we really wouldn't have known which way to go. Do we make it in time? Is the Overlord of the Vortex still in the sea? It hasn't destroyed Liyue yet, has it?
I mean, look at it.
What are you doing here?
I mean, glad we brought you close to this, I guess. This is very coincidental, but the stories kinda fit together today.
Huh? Hold on. It's the Adepti. What are you doing on the Jade Chamber? Paimon thought you were arguing with the Chising. Is the fighting over?
Faced with a calamity of such magnitude, we have agreed to put our differences aside for now and unite against this common enemy.
Oh, Paimon gets it. So how do you plan to defend Liyue? Just seeing this Overlord of the Vortex guy puts a pit in Paimon's tummy, even from all the way out here.
It's not just you. We've got new Millelith recruits who can't even stand at attention without shaking. The force of an ancient god's presence seems to be too much for ordinary people to handle. Which is why we must stop that monster before it gets any closer to Liyue Harbor.
And how?
So the Archon War was fought 2,000 years ago against enemies like that thing? Now that's scary. So will the power of the Chising, Millelith, and Adepti gathered here be enough to stop that god?
We've already discussed this together, and our conclusion is... not necessarily.
What? But all of you are supposed to be the guardians of Liyue. Can't you think of something?
One certainly could.
Huh?
The Chising did once research the matter of the Guizhong Ballista when it piqued their fancy. And as fate would have it, one who did craft the Guizhong Ballista with one's own hands is here. For what could you mortals ever learn of Adepti mechanisms? Yet, it would take one, but a little tinkering to turn this ballista into an engine of war beyond your wildest thoughts.
A damn ballista? Really?
I suppose this is one blessing from the Adepti that we should be thankful for. So be it. We shall use the upgraded Guizhong Ballista to fight off that god. All the Adepti here can lend their strength to man it. We haven't a moment to spare. Our battle begins now.
Yep.
The Fatui! They're attacking the Guizhong Ballista!
The three Adepti are manning the Guizhong Ballista. Do not let the Fatui disturb their work.
All able Millelith, with me!
Let's go help too!
We Adepti have not faced a god in several millennia. Let one see what you're made of then. What strength remains within you? What wishes to witness?
Burst forth. Witness my great undertaking.
This should be fun.
This guy needs to go, because water Fatui are healers.
My duty.
Who's next? Oh, here.
Live! Live! Feel this ancient power.
What is what?
Osial's divine power. I am very familiar with it. Be careful not to get hit.
Oh, really? You don't say.
Let's dance.
The Fatui! Their attacks are unrelenting!
How daring. Snezhnai's diplomats will answer for this afterward. Every last one.
Absorption test. Animal hypostasis emulation. The ancient gods attacking again. There are so many between two. We can't look.
Were you about to say we can't hold them, children? Don't lose heart. Here, take this.
This is adeptal energy. That light from your body. It's like the tire in giant cars. Wow, it's Madame Ping's shockwave. This granny's really strong.
Oh, I enjoy this. A little bit of power has never hurt me. Now we are making real explosions, Klee. Next.
With the blood of the Chilean, I guard you against evil. Cast your fear of injury by the wayside and fight with all your might. I too did this during the Archon War.
So this is what Ganya's like in a fight.
My name means swiftness. Take my power and run as I do.
We're going too fast.
Not fast enough, apparently.
I'll protect us.
Child, you are strong in body and spirit. Perhaps you can withstand 3 forms of adeptal energy at once.
This will hurt a little. Please bear with us.
Once you've adapted, try to use them in battle.
Over here. Stand clear. Absorption test.
Look at Kitty. Just once.
Swirl. Mark 2. Jumpy dumpy power.
Exercise caution. I fear that the god's power has reached its peak.
In other words, if we hold here, there's nothing worse to come, right?
Just once.
Burst forth! Witness my great undertaking!
Looks like a waste of time.
This isn't good.
One of these has only 1% HP left. That's bad.
Burst forth! Witness my great undertaking!
Animal test 6308. Stand clear. Over here. Absorption test.
Well then. I did not notice that one of them got damaged so hard. Can indeed not heal ballista. Oh well. Once more we're feeling, I'm assuming. Makes us start over at phase 1 Childe. Well, it makes us start over somewhere. Sure looks nice outside. Would be terrible if there was a terrible monster hiding somewhere. That's silly. Guess I cannot teleport up there, right? Well, kinda. Oh, it went from 30% to 1% really fast. Well, that's just mean. But it's so nice out. Sledgehammer guys are the worst.
Though the clouds may darken and light turn.
According to coaching, this is what we should say. Excuse me, do you sell the moon?
Do you sell a boss fight here?
Yes.
It's not convenient to speak.
Ah, well
I want
said.
all the boss fights.
And yet the code they used...
All of them. Let's hope we don't lose again, because getting back to that fight takes a while. Let's hope we don't have to watch the cutscene again. I mean, it's a very nice cutscene, but...
If we hadn't happened...
There's an auto button, but not a skip button.
Huh? Hold on. It's the Adepti.
Which is not quite Honkai
Faced
yet.
with the
Oh, Paimon gets it. So how do you plan to defend Liyue?
Nope.
It's not just you, which is
No
why we
skipping
must.
here.
So the Archon... So will the power of the...
We've already discussed.
What?
One certainly could.
Huh?
The Chi Sing did. And
Did
the
they
fate
think
would
about
help.
someone
For what
losing
could
their
you
sight?
So be it. We haven't a moment to. Yep.
Okay, can't skip that at all.
Fatui! They're attacking the Genshin ballista!
Well, let's hope we don't get completely destroyed this time at the end.
Do not let the Fatui disturb their work.
All able Millilith, with me!
Let's go help too!
We Adepti have not faced a god in several millennia. Let one see what you're made of then.
Well, that was a better start, for
Remains
sure.
Within you, what wishes to witness?
Let's keep an eye out for where they spawn.
Absorption test. Animal test 6308. Stand clear. Yep.
other side, I'm assuming. Would make the most sense. Yes.
La la la. La la la.
Burst forward. That is Osial's divine power. I am very familiar. Be careful not to get hit.
Got hit.
I'll protect us.
The Fatui! Their attacks are unrelenting!
How daring. Snezhnai's diplomats will answer for this afterward. Every last one.
Hate healers.
Were you about to say we can't hold them, children?
This is not going well.
Don't lose heart. Here, take this.
This is adeptal energy. That light from your body. It's like the time in Julian Karst. Wow, it's a Madam Pink shockwave.
Just be very careful about the middle one.
La la la. Absorption test. Stand clear.
You can't run!
Come into being. I feel the same power. Come into being.
With the blood of the Chilian, I guard you against evil. Cast your fear of injury by the wayside and fight with all your might. I too did this during the Archon War.
So this is what Ganya's like in a fight.
My name means swiftness. Take my power and run as I do.
We're going too fast.
Child, you are strong in body and spirit. Perhaps you can withstand 3 forms of adeptal energy at once.
This will hurt a little. Please bear with us.
Once you've adapted, try to use them in battle.
Woo! Jumpy dumpy go! Stand clear. Animal test 6308. Absorption test. Enhanced animal module 75.
Exercise caution. I fear that the god's power has reached its peak.
In other words, if we hold here, there's nothing worse to come, right?
Animal test 6308.
Be a killjoy!
Well, these are the 2 sledgehammer guys that destroyed me last time, I'm sure.
Yes. This is it.
La la la. Animal hyperstasis emulation. Animal test 6308. Absorption test.
It's time for a flashback.
Not at the middle.
Boing, boing, boing! Animal test 6308. The Fatui's numbers are thinning.
Fight on, comrades! Once we finish this lot off, the Adepti will be able to deal with the god in peace.
Well, where? Who? Or is it over? Okay.
The interlopers are no more. Now we may commit ourselves fully.
It's working! We just need to keep this up!
Be careful now.
The Guizhong Ballista is destroyed. Without its covering fire, retaliation shall be difficult.
But the Jade Chamber is our last line of defense. We can't give another inch, no matter what.
I have another idea.
What do you mean, Lady Ningguang?
I'll sacrifice the Jade Chamber.
What is the meaning of this?
I understand.
Traveler, lend me a hand. Farewell, old friend. Goodbye for now. Let us meet again in the future.
She did have a nuke in that chamber.
Is it finally over?
God, I hope so.
The ominous aura of that monster has indeed begun to fade. The effects of the Sigil of Permission last but a short time. It will be some time before the Overlord of the Vortex can make any waves again.
We are indebted to you for your assistance. If the Adepti hadn't happened to be here, the future of Liyue Harbor would surely have been in great jeopardy.
Save your flattery. We didn't just happen to be here. Surely you won't pretend to have forgotten the reason for which we came.
Come now. There's no need for such harsh words, Cloud Retainer. I've heard that when Ningguang began learning to do business, she had already started setting aside part of her then limited income in preparation for building the Jade Chamber. At first, it was only the size of a small room, but with continued expansion, it has become the palace that lies before you now.
It sure is lying somewhere.
It is a testament to Ningguang's entire life, both as a businesswoman and as the backbone of the Liyue Qixing. Seeing the Jade Chamber destroyed in the defense of Liyue means much to her. To me, such cooperation and sacrifice deserves at least some recognition, don't you agree?
Well, I was really hoping you would say that such sacrifice could at least be used as some leverage in our negotiations. Thank you all for hearing me out. We know very well why the Adepti came here today. But please forgive us. We cannot yield to your wishes.
Oh?
3,700 years. According to our records, the Adepti signed a contract with Rex Lapis to protect Liyue 3,700 years ago. Even to this very day, Liyue and its lands have stood the test of time, immovable as stone, just as it was thousands of years before. This is truly no small feat. But that does not mean that the Liyue of today is the same city as it was all those years ago. Do not merely cast your protective gaze upon the land. Instead, focus your sights on our city and each of the citizens that dwell within it.
Are you questioning our means of protecting Liyue?
I mean no offense. I simply hope that our Adepti forebears would see Liyue in a new light.
Forebearers, you say? One doubts you would be fit to be part of such a lineage.
This morning, Rex Lapis appeared to me in a dream.
What?
In the dream, I yearned to tell him that we Qixing, though mortal, are equally bound to the contract. Each passing generation of the Qixing leaves many things of value to be inherited by the next generation. I also thought to tell him how the past generations of Qixing had strove under his rule to survive in our mortal world, establishing a network of contracts which has since come to be known as trade. But I dared not speak. I could only gaze at him in silence until the moment I awoke.
Oh, Ningguang.
You're all on the same side here.
Yet another perspective. What are you trying to say, Outlander?
When there's discord between the Guardians and those they were meant to defend, harmony becomes very difficult to restore.
Right! That's something that happened in Mondstadt. It's a story about the Four Winds and the people of the Animal Archon. The Animal Archon sought to quell the strife between the two sides, because he believed that such conflict would only scar the hearts of both, and that nothing good would come of it.
This is what we learn in the City of Freedom.
Each of the 7 nations has its own scars from the past.
Though your point is the very height of simplicity. As Adepti, we've become a laughingstock, to be chastised thus by an outlander who has lent us such succor.
All right, all right. Didn't Ningguang suggest that we should focus on the city and each of its citizens? I know I already have, so why not see for yourselves?
I apologize for appearing in full armor. I am afraid I cannot show the proper courtesies.
And who are you?
I am Feng Yan, a sergeant of the Millelith. I have come to extend my thanks to the Adepti. I thought this battle would perhaps be my last. But thanks to the aid of the Adepti, our forces were not as badly battered as I feared we might be. Although I am a mere mortal soldier, I promise to hold the line and never betray the grace given to us by the illuminated Adepti this day.
Huh? Why does everyone look so down? Didn't we just beat that big monster?
Weren't you frightened, dear? It was quite the predicament.
I wasn't afraid. All the strong Millelith guards were there, and those powerful heroes with their visions were there. Everyone was there. When danger is near, everyone always protects me. And the rest of the time, they make fun toys and tasty snacks and loads of things that make the harbor so pretty.
Like the Lantern Festival that's going on right now. I think it's very interesting for this to happen on that day, isn't it?
Thanks for protecting Liyue Harbor. Please come visit us for the next lantern rite.
Like, that's incredibly fitting. Nice.
Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to participate.
Huh?
Because we are Adepti.
Oh, okay. It must be hard being an Adeptus. Aww.
You see, this is what Liyue is like today. The country of contracts is grateful to the Adepti for their protection, but it is no longer necessary for the city to rely on the Adepti's power to solve every little niggling matter. Although their blood is weak, there is still strength to be found in those we call mortals. The time of contracts between gods and Liyue has long since passed. Now is the time of contracts between Liyue and its people.
Seeing the port around us now, it is hard not to feel a bit out of place. Wouldn't you say so, Cloud Retainer?
Your line of inquiry is askew. One did not spearhead this expedition to Liyue Harbor.
Seems like the Adepti have had a change of heart.
We've listened to what the people have said, and they are trying to understand things from their perspective.
Let us return now.
Eager to leave, Conqueror of Demons.
Yes, one understands what the Conqueror of Demons means. The city of Liyue has changed much after our long separation. One fears that by the time one finally grasps the new contracts of Liyue, you humans would have once again changed the place beyond recognition. Fair enough. Away we shall, and return whence we came.
Since we Adepti have consensus, then one shall persist no further. But how will we ensure that the Liyue Chising will not simply exploit their power once we depart? In my view, that is still a thing to be guarded against.
All right, Mooncarver, you needn't worry. It seems to me that this right of supervision is best left to the people of Liyue.
Looks like the conflict between humans and Adepti was avoided. All's well that ends well, huh?
Can say that again. The Adepti were quite reasonable in the end.
Oh, right! It's nice that we've got peace and all, but we're forgetting one thing.
Food?
Childe wanted to unleash the god, so he could lure Rex Lapis out.
But he sure did not show up.
But we were able to handle the Overlord of the Vortex on our own, so Rex Lapis never showed up. Oh, and speaking of that, don't we still need to get to the bottom of that Archon's death too? get it. But isn't the strongest lead we have the Adeptiless Rite of Parting that we're organizing? No idea where Zhongli's gone. Let's ask for him at Wangshen Funeral Parlor.
Let's have some after story after the big climax, I guess. To clean up some questions. And who better to us than moneyless Zhongli? Don't fall into the sea. Don't fall into the sea. Don't fall into the sea. Kitty. Still sad we can't pet cats. Seems like there's a board outside Wangshen Funeral Parlor with lots of wooden tiles hanging from it. What are they for? Never mind, I'm not sure I want to find out. Chest! Treasure! Don't think I've ever went over here to the funeral parlor. Hi, Komachi.
Is there anything I can do for you two? I'm afraid that Wangshen Funeral Parlor isn't in the best state to receive guests.
We've come to see Zhongli. Could you please tell him we're here?
Unfortunately, Zhongli isn't here at the moment. It seems he went to Northland Bank.
To Northland Bank we go.
Doesn't the Northland Bank belong to the Fatui? Last time we saw Zhongli was before we went to the Golden House. Do you think he doesn't know about the attack on Liyue? Visiting the Fatui at a time like this could only mean more trouble. We had better go and make sure that everything is okay.
Can't trust that guy with anything. So better check up on him.
You call this cooperation between Harbingers? Cooperation involves communication, you know.
And communication is key.
Don't take it to heart, child. Besides, aren't you happy that you got to skip the formalities and bring chaos to the land? I'm sure you must have enjoyed that.
Where did you come from?
Oh, it seems that some of your friends have arrived.
Hey, it's Zhongli and Childe. And you! You're also one of the Harbingers?
Signora.
It's you two. I believe we've met once before. In the City of Bards, was it? I'm glad you still remember my name.
Considering your introduction cutscene glitched out, yes, I'm surprised I know your name.
Ah, right. I imagine that it must have been rather hard to forget watching helplessly as something precious was snatched away from your friend.
Reef, just stay calm.
Well, if it isn't you two. This is our first time seeing each other since Liyue was nearly wiped off the map. This is certainly a bit awkward, wouldn't you say?
I'll fight you again.
Paimon knew that we should never have trusted a Fatui Harbinger.
Oh, now don't say that. Sure, I may have misled you, but I never had anything against you personally.
Anyways, why are you here, Zhongli?
Besides, I thought we were getting along quite well together, didn't you? Except for that little tussle we had at the end. Nothing personal. We just have different views, that's all. Of course, you may very well hold this against me, but that's up to you. The real deceivers here are Senora and Zhongli. Curse them for leading me on.
Senora and Zhongli?
So actually, I think...
Stop wasting time, child. There'll be plenty of time to chat once I'm through here. You remember the agreement, Morax. Now, if you would be so kind. The Gnosis, please.
Gnosis?
What in the world are you talking about?
The contract is fulfilled. That which thou seeketh is now bestowed unto thee. For my promise is solid as stone.
How sanctimonious.
So, Zhongli is actually Rex Lapis? I mean, I did have my suspicions.
What? So you're the Lord of Chio? No, wait! That's an exciting twist and all, but why give the Gnosis to the Fatui?
I do not give it for free. I give it as agreed upon in the contract, for it is a matter solely between the Tsaritsa and I.
I'm afraid I don't understand. And why did you feign your death?
Yeah, you don't think you went a little bit too far with that whole fake death thing? Everyone was preparing the ceremony for you and splat! This big dragon falls out of the sky and all of Liyue goes into an uproar. Talk about a disaster.
Gathering all the forces that had been bubbling behind the scenes, and then stirring them together in a pot that was bound to boil over. That's what he wanted to see, am I right?
Wait, what?
Perhaps it's best that I explain.
You should.
As you know, I've dwelt upon this world for more than 6,000 years. I witnessed the founding of Liyue, together with the Adepti 3,700 years ago. Even boulders that can withstand whirlpools will erode with the passing of time. I kept convincing myself that cracks had not begun to form, and that the end of my time had not yet come. Until one drizzly day, as I was strolling along the harbor, I heard a merchant tell one of his workers, "You've finished your duties. Go ahead and call it a day." I stood motionless among the crowds, asking myself, have I already finished my duties?
Oh, Zhongli.
But as I began to consider relinquishing my divine role, I soon discovered that many reasons still remained to not hastily depart. Was Liyue, the city I had dwelt in for so long, already prepared to enter its next age? I decided that a test was needed in order to reveal the answer.
That was quite a test you put on.
So I feigned my own death, and gathered the cast of Childe, the Adepti, and the Liyue to play their roles together on the stage that was Liyue.
Let me guess, you had another plan in case everything burned down?
That's right. Which is why I continued to safeguard the Gnosis until now.
So you mean that if the chaos ever reached the point of no return, you would simply appear and use your divine powers to bring Liyue back under control?
Of course, and it would have been all too easy for him too. Just as a child quickly matures after losing their parents, so has Liyue matured when faced with the death of its deity.
I was pleasantly surprised with the finale of the show that you all put on. Why, you even deserved an encore.
Sure was a lot of boss fights.
The Adepti deserve the greatest applause, considering their years of seclusion. They hardly recognized the city, yet faced with such a crisis, they exerted the greatest amount of restraint. Not only did they manage to cooperate with the Qixing, but in the end, they even tried to understand the heart of the people. And hats off to the emissary dispatched by the Cryo-Archon to fulfill our contract, Signora. She managed to keep everything she knew in strict confidence, far from the eavesdropping ears of her colleague Childe, just as I had requested. All the while, I carried on as Zhongli, and fulfilled the traditions of Liyue in this mortal form. Thank you for walking that path with me, traveler. These things were all a part of my script. The only unforeseen plot twist was the conduct of the Liyue Qixing. I had expected them to do no more than the Adepti, to come to the defense of Liyue. But when all was said and done, they seized the opportunity to supplant Liyue's divine protectors, and used the subsequent power vacuum left by my death to quickly gain complete control of Liyue.
Huh? That doesn't sound good at all!
On the contrary, I think it is excellent. I had always feared that it was too soon for them to take over from me. And it was also that which I longed for the most. As such, this is the best parting gift anyone could have given this god of old.
Hey, what about me? Doesn't anyone feel the least bit of remorse for deceiving me? You've practically kept me in the dark.
No, that serves you right, I think.
I think that thanks would be more appropriate. You certainly played no small part in all of this, wreaking havoc and turning the city upside down. The Lord of Geo ought to thank you for your performance, if anything. If you hadn't created the pressure of a battle between mortals, Adepti, and a god, the lump of coal resting in the hands of the Geo-Archon, Liyue would never have been able to become a dazzling diamond of a city.
Huh? Just whose side are you on, mocking me like that? Are you itching for a fight?
You've really embarrassed yourself this time.
Hey, haven't you learned the Liyue saying, don't always call it as you see it?
Well then, with the Gnosis in my possession, I have no use for such idle chatter. We should return to Zapolyarny Palace and seek an audience with Her Majesty, the Tsaritsa. Come, child.
Fine. I'll meet you there later. I'm not sharing a boat with the likes of you.
Do as you wish.
Now then, is there anything else you wish to ask me?
I'd like to know what the Cryo-Archon offered you. What could possibly be worth a Gnosis?
Right! As Zhongli always told us, a good trade is a fair trade. Paimon has no idea what could be a good trade for a Gnosis.
Realistically speaking, there is no such thing.
Huh?
However, I am the god of contracts. For thousands of years, I have made countless contracts. If the deal was of no benefit, then I certainly would not be inclined to agree to it. My agreement with the Cryo-Archon will be the last of my contracts as the Geo-Archon. My contract to end all contracts. As for the bargaining chip that the Tsaritsa used to balance the scales, uncover that answer for yourself in your future journeys.
Well, you're being cryptic, Rex Lapis. In other words, he won't tell us. Yes.
Today's the day of the rite of parting. Although the star of the show is fake, we've spent so much time trying to organize it, it would be a real shame not to go there now. Yeah. Yeah.
Gotta have a parting party at this year's Lantern Festival.
This is it.
Oh, well, since we're going through with this rite of parting, I guess it means that those rumors hit the nail on the head.
So Rex Lapis is really... But they didn't catch the culprit, did they?
Oh, come on. Do you think that the assassin could have been a normal person? You know what I think. I don't think any of the gossip on the streets you hear from those shady types is worth anything. There's only one real possibility in my mind. I've heard that the assassin was that Fatui fellow. Youngish, pretty high in rank. I think they called him Childe.
The Fatui? They certainly are very suspicious. Who knows what those greedy, crooked folks...
Shh! Lower your voice. If the Fatui catch you in their sights, Rex Lapis won't be around to protect you this time.
Well done.
You know that god from the ocean couldn't have just shown up out of nowhere. I mean, it's been 2,000 years since Rex Lapis subdued it.
Yes, and to think that this happened right on the heels of the incident with Rex Lapis, too.
Say, do you think the person who assassinated our lord and released that evil god might have been one and the same?
Yeah, likely.
Now that you mention it, that's very possible. Yes, it's very possible indeed.
Let's blame it all on Childe.
I mean, it all fits together. That person must have colluded with the evil god to harm Rex Lapis. Oh, that wicked, black-hearted scoundrel. Still, what sort of supernatural prowess must this person possess to be able to do such things? I have never heard of such a person in all my years.
Ah, forget it. Guessing's no use to us. Look, the Millilith over there looks like he's about to make an announcement. Let's hear what the Ministry of Civil Affairs has to say first.
Please be mindful of your personal safety.
Hear ye all! The Chising's words. Though a dragon soars ageless as the mountains, it too must return to dust. This is common knowledge. Gods and Adepti live glorious lives, but both light and shadow have their season. So too must they face divinely appointed trials. Rumors and hearsay abound on the streets that Rex Lapis was murdered. Now, let the truth be revealed. Having been thwarted in his trial, Rex Lapis's soul has recouped the celestial heights. He beseeches the people of Liyue to grieve not, and to let not their hearts be saddened. Nor are they to believe street-born rumors, or indulge in baseless speculation.
Paimon needs a translation on what the Qixing's announcement said.
He said that Rex Lapis died because of a divine trial.
So that's how they're spinning it. Something feels off. Why would they suddenly give up looking for the murderer? Not to mention how this excuse sounds like something they just made up on the spot. Could the Qixing already have known that Rex Lapis wasn't dead? But Zhongli said that neither they nor the Adepti knew anything. Did Zhongli tell them in secret after his gnosis changed hands?
I think you've hit the bullseye this time. Surprising, Paimon.
Exactly, right? Ooh, seems like the rite of parting has been going on for a while now. Let's go have a look. Look, it's Ningguang and Keqing. Are they saying something? Are their speeches over?
As said previously, Rex Lapis's soul returning to the heavens is the end of the contract. And it is also the end of an era.
3,700 years of contracts burnt and reduced to ash.
We, the people of Liyue, were indeed prosperous. But blinded by our prosperity, we forgot that time can be pitiless.
The long, unending dream of our Archon walking among us.
Now that we have awoken from our dream, we must learn to say farewell. Will you stand with us as we re-establish our contracts? As we build a new age of prosperity?
So concludes the words of Her Eminence the Tianquan. Does Her Eminence the Yuheng have anything to add?
Huh? Is she looking this way?
Traveler.
Yikes! She really is looking our way!
Is that the traveler who they say defeated the ancient god?
So young. The Liyue Qixing always repay their debts. And as you have heard, our eyes see far and our reach is long. Name your price. You deserve that much.
I can think of a lot of prices. How about all the money in that golden palace?
Whoa!
Or some food. Another frog, maybe an egg.
Could you help me put up some missing person posters?
Oh no, she spoke.
Roping you in was possibly the most masterful move we could have made. I believe that future generations will say so too when our deeds come up for their review.
Why, you... Were you just trying to look cool earlier, or are you really that selfless? If you were looking for someone, you could have just told me that in private.
We need everyone to know to look for him.
The cleanup of the premises, managing the crowds as they exit, making an account of the rite. There's much that remains to be done. I didn't miss anything, did I?
Zhongli. Where? Oh.
Hey, Zhongli! Look at this. Everyone in Liyue is caught up in their emotions, thinking that they'll never see Rex Lapis again. And here you are looking all relaxed.
Relaxed, Lapis.
Why would I not feel more at ease after laying down the burden I have borne for 3,700 years? Right. If the two of you can spare the time, I should treat you to a meal at the Liyue kiosk.
Ha! That sounds like big talk, Zhongli. Paimon might have believed you if you were treating us to some third-round knockout, but you'd have to pay out your nose just to stand inside Liyue kiosk. Are you sure you can afford it?
You're right. I do like the Mora.
You've been this way the entire time, but why would Morax like Mora?
As the Rex Lapis Morax, I can easily create Mora. But since I have chosen to walk this earth as the mortal Zhongli, I should abide by the same rules that mortals do. When I was journeying with you, though I still had the Gnosis in hand, I knew that I must soon retire from my role as an Archon, so I had to rehearse a little for my new life.
You're an idiot.
Oh, no wonder! Paimon gets it now. You didn't look at the price tags when we were spending because you've never had to. But since you weren't used to not being able to just make more Mora as and when you wanted to, you had to try becoming a parasite to society who lives off of other people's credit.
Yes, he is a parasite.
Well, we were only spending Fatui money. You don't have to say it like that. In the City of Commerce, we do not merely exchange money or goods. We also exchange knowledge, memories, and foresight, as well as positions, roles, and lives. The Archon Morax could never experience life as the true mortal Zhongli could, no matter how many times he descended to be with his people. I must thank you for that. I will treasure the memories that I made as Zhongli, traveling the streets of Liyue with you.
It was a fine journey.
That is true. But there is no journey that does not end. No meetings without partings.
Paimon thinks that we should make a move and continue our search for the Seven.
I fear that continuing your journey may be difficult. The nation that neighbors Liyue by sea, Inazuma, is presently closed.
Closed? Who's the god who rules Inazuma?
Yes, the nation has been closed by order of its deity, the Electro-Archon Ball. And just as the people of Liyue preferred to call me Rex Lapis, she too goes by another name among locals in Inazuma.
Paimon thinks we've heard that one before. Raiden?
Raiden. May?
That is the case. And since Raiden is also the shogun of the Inazuma Bakufu, people call her the Raiden Shogun.
The Inazuma Bakufu. The shogun.
That said, Though people at the wharf were saying that the situation in Inazuma is very tense, Paimon doesn't remember that always being the case. It wasn't that bad last year. Zhongli, since you're Rex Lapis, shouldn't you know something about what's happening there? Just how did Inazuma become a closed nation?
It's because of visions.
Visions?
When faced with circumstances beyond their control, humans often bemoan their lack of power. But if a person shows true strength of will at a desperate and fateful moment in their life, the gods will look upon them with favor. This is what visions are. Magical foci bestowed upon those who have been acknowledged by the gods.
Uh-huh. That's how people in Teyvat see it.
But starting from last year, the Raiden Shogun began promulgating the Vision Hunt Decree.
Vision Hunt Decree?
Yes. It was an order to seize all visions within Inazuma's borders, and to inlay them upon the hands of a statue of the 1,000-armed, 100-eyed god.
Well, isn't that something?
They want to seize visions. But why? Aren't visions blessings from the gods?
These things, these little things, all of them.
I should think that in the Raiden Shogun's eyes, it is precisely because they are divine blessings that they should be under the sole dominion of divinity.
Whoa, that's harsh.
The Anemo Archon is the god of freedom, and the Geo Archon is the god of contracts. For her part, the Raiden Shogun is the god of eternity. It seems as though she has finally decided to eliminate any unstable elements that could pose a threat to her eternal realm.
Sounds like an impossible request to me.
The fact that even I, the oldest of the seven, have now passed away, will only strengthen her resolve to pursue eternity. Knowing her, she must have again quoted that adage she is most fond of when proclaiming that decree to her people. 7 ideals for 7 gods, and of these, eternity is nearest unto heaven.
Almost on the moon.
All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know?
Yes, a lot of things. So about the trial.
Ah, that was a good one. Failing a divine trial. How they came up with that excuse, I will never know. That said, the reason why the Qixing were so eager to resolve the incident and stop pursuing the culprit was indeed because they received news in secret that Rex Lapis was not dead. I hinted as much to the Adepti as well. How did I accomplish that, you ask? Have you ever heard of this particularly convenient Adepti art known as gifting dreams and visions? All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know?
What about that idiot?
Yeah, about that. Before the Qixing made their announcement, we listened to a lot of people talking on the way. Most of them put the blame for everything on Childe.
These are indeed false accusations. But it remains undeniably true that Childe did send people to the Jade Chamber to prevent the Adepti and the Qixing from defeating the ancient god. I've heard that Ningguang is busy milking that for all it's worth on the foreign relations front at the moment, browbeating the envoys of the Fatui. Ha! Those poor Snezhnayan diplomats. If it were not for Childe's exalted position as a harbinger, I'm certain that they would have shifted all the blame to him and called for his dismissal by now. All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know?
As for the Liyue Qixing.
The time of the Adepti has long passed. If even the Liyue Qixing don't want to face that truth, then what future is there for Liyue? Kuching is absolutely right in saying this. Now, though I did laud Ningguang's desire for power, believing this to be a good thing, and thought as a matter of course that she must have been behind the Qixing's plan to take governing power over Liyue from the hands of the gods and Adepti. Could the original person who brought up the idea of seizing power have been... All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know?
Money.
That's right. Zhongli, now that you don't have your gnosis, what's going to happen to all the Mora in Teyvat? Since Morax is dead, are they all just gonna disappear? Also, isn't the Golden House the only mint in the entire continent? Will it even continue to work?
The Mora present now will not vanish. But the Golden House will indeed have to cease operations for a lengthy period of time, since creating Mora requires the use of the Geo-Archon's power.
This is terrible! We're all about to run out of Mora! The world is coming to an end!
Yes, this is indeed a major issue from a financial standpoint. Well, I suppose we'll just leave such troublesome matters to the Liyue Qixing to debate.
Oh no, deflation.
Then, did you at least set some private funds aside for yourself?
He has no money.
Oh, a private fund. This does seem like a good, logical, common-sense idea.
So no.
It's a shame.
What's a shame?
It's a shame that I didn't think of it at the time. All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know?
No. Leave me alone.
Well then. I suppose you'll have to find a way to get inside this closed nation. Have patience. I suspect that some serendipity must first come into play.
That was a very interesting name that just fell in the quest name, so I deem it important enough to check that out. Bowkeeper Dainsleif. I doubt there's much left in the story now. Let them invent paper money. No. Can't have that. And the paper nation would overthrow the rock nation. And paper does beat rock. So unless they invent a scissor nation, we are all doomed.
Traveler, please, over here. It has been a while since you joined the Adventurers Guild. Are your adventures going smoothly?
More companions would be nice.
Is that so? Apart from your own skills, reliable teammates are also indispensable when adventuring. Another person to count on is always good after all. But recruiting such dependable companions is no easy matter, is it?
Yep, and it's even harder to get a guide as good as Paimon.
Can't replace you.
Ah, yes. I do have some information that may be of help to you.
Need a second Paimon, yes.
Let me consult our records. Ah, there it is. There's been a certain blonde stranger who arrived in Mondstadt
dress is all funny. It feels like Paimon's heard this one before. Wait! Do you mean...
Could it be?
Does that stranger's face look anything like hers?
Hmm? Like the honorary knights? No, they couldn't look more different. This stranger is a very tall man, and even has an eye patch.
So, just some distant relative of Kea then.
Seriously? How does this have anything to do with Kaya? Eye patches can't prove that you're related anyway.
Depends on the hair color, I guess.
That stranger declined the guild's invitation, so I can't say that I know anything about the relationship between him and Mr. Kaya. Nonetheless, you can look for him if you're interested. Perhaps he might accept your commission instead. After all, it is not uncommon for some adventurers to not want to be limited by the guild, but be happy to accept a fellow adventurer's requests. And should the stranger be a strong adventurer indeed, he would certainly be a big help on your journey.
Sounds like a tough customer.
Please don't talk down on yourself like that. You are the honorary knight of the Knights of Favonius, after all. Your deeds are the stuff of song for all the bards in the city, even now.
Well, alright then. About that stranger.
Well, as to further news about him, you may want to ask Mr. Lawrence. He stands guard at the city gate, so he may know something about that stranger. I wish you every success, adventurer.
Honorary knight. Is something the matter?
So I'm looking for a stranger with an eye patch.
A stranger with an eye patch? Let me think. Oh yeah, I remember seeing someone like that. A blonde stranger dressed in unusual garb. He was wandering all over Mondstadt at first, which I found rather suspicious. So I decided to keep an eye on him for a while. I lost him pretty quickly. Still, I didn't think that this was such a huge matter that we needed our outrider to pursue him by air. As long as Master Jean is here, there's nothing to fear from some suspicious, unusual-looking person.
That might be true, but if it were up to Jean, she'd take this way more seriously.
That is true. But on the other hand, knowing that Master Jean may overreact to the situation is all the more reason to not tell her, no? Anyways, oh yeah, he was at Wagner's smithy for a while before I tried tailing him. He might have said something to Wagner. You should go ask him. Maybe he has more news about our stranger.
Wagner ist.
What? You need something?
So I'm looking for a stranger with an eye patch.
Here, I remember him. He showed up a few days ago asking to buy a bunch of forging materials. Can't say I've heard of any of the materials he mentioned though. He then had a look at the weapons in my shop before leaving. I've heard that he can be found drinking at the Angel's Share. If the Knights of the Guild want to get hold of him, that's the only place to be.
The Angel's Share? Well, Master Diluc probably has his eye on that stranger too then. Anyway, let's go to the Angel's Share and have a look.
We always end up at the Angel's Share. Always lead here.
What will it be? Grape juice or apple cider?
Another day, another lack of alcoholic options.
Hey, Charles! Have you seen a blonde stranger who wears an eye patch around here by any chance?
That I have. He comes here every night. Just a drink, though. Doesn't order anything else. He even sometimes mixes his own drinks after he orders them. I don't know anything else about him, but from his selections and mixes, I'd say that he's quite the connoisseur.
And what's Master Diluc's opinion?
Why, I just gave it to you. Quite the connoisseur.
Investigating everything as always. Guess that's Diluc for you.
If you're looking for that gentleman, he ordered some new bottle of wine in advance yesterday. So he should be here today too. There's too many raucous patrons on the first floor, so if you want to wait, best to go to the second.
Let's see.
Even if you are a close friend, I need to learn to handle my booze better. Dandelion wine!
Ah, welcome, sir. The wine that you previously ordered is here.
He's really here? Let's go downstairs and have a look.
The waiting game was not very
I need
long.
to learn to handle my booze better. You are a close friend. Dandelion wine! Another.
Hi, I'm the adventurer of the Adventurers Guild. How do you do? I'm an honorary knight of Havanius.
Wow, he's got no intention of paying us any mind, huh?
So, I'm a traveler.
A traveler, you say? Why are you traveling?
I'm looking for my lost relative.
Well, that's as good a reason as any. Sit down over there, then.
So, guess we've broken the ice. What a weird guy.
That little one beside you.
Emergency food.
That's not true, and you know it.
It's indeed a good thing to have someone accompany you on your travels. My name's Dainsleif. I suppose you have some business with me?
Well, I was hoping to invite you to adventure with us.
Sure.
Huh?
And he was so cold just a moment before. Paimon's got a bad feeling about this.
But I will require advance payment.
Payment, you say? How much?
500 mora, and 3 answered questions.
Okay, then.
The 500 is a one-time fee, and we'll settle the questions in a moment.
That's it?
That's it.
Well, now Paimon's got a really bad feeling. That kind of compensation can't be right.
Well, here's the 500 mora.
Ah, thank you. Now, as for my questions, I'd like you to answer them here and now.
Do I need to answer them all correctly? I've already had 3 questions today.
The answer to a question says nothing about right and wrong, only about differences in attitude. I only wish to know what your choices are. You need only answer.
Well, alright then.
Question 1. The crisis Mondstadt faced was resolved by an alliance between yourself and that Animo Archon who calls himself Venti. Who, in your view, was the key to ending that crisis?
How did you know that Venti is...
I know everything that I should. Well, answer the question.
It was me. It was all me. Like... Yes.
Is that your answer? I see.
It was definitely not Venti.
Question number 2. Rex Lapis, who has defended Liyue Harbor for millennia on end, used his gnosis to lay down a contract to end all contracts. of which the stipulations are still unknown.
You sure know a lot.
Who do you think will defend Liyue Harbor in the future, now that they've lost their deity?
Everyone in Liyue Harbor?
So that's your answer? I see.
He's the dungeon master.
Now for my final question. This world has people who gained visions, and those who did not. Which of the two do you think hold more importance in the eyes of the gods?
Perhaps none of them do.
So, this is your answer then? I understand. As I thought, you really are similar to him.
What do you mean, him?
I'll take that 500 mora. And now I also understand your views on this world. As we agreed, you may now commission me. That said, I only take commissions related to the Abyss Order. Like you, I am currently on a journey. You intend to find your sibling, while I wish to oppose the Abyss.
Well, I've met some Abyss mages in the past.
Ugh. Those creatures that serve the Abyss are the fangs and claws by which the Order spreads chaos in this world. I have come to Mondstadt this time while on the trail of an Abyss Herald.
A what?
An Abyss Herald?
An even more twisted abyssal being. One that commands the Abyss mages.
Come to think of it, since the Storm Terror incident ended, we haven't...
Oh, that's right! We've just been fighting against the Fatui and Liyue, who are human too! We haven't encountered the non-human Abyss Order at all!
There's some reason behind that, I'm afraid. It's possible that they may have been under orders to redirect your path.
Oh, that does sound pretty dangerous. Maybe they're looking for a better time to ambush us or something.
I'll defeat them.
Uh-huh! We're super duper strong!
That manner, it's just like his.
You know my bro, don't you?
Well then, let's go see for ourselves, shall we? According to the leads I have on hand, the Abyss Order has re-infiltrated the Temple of the Falcon. Let's meet up at the temple. Perhaps your questions about the Abyss will be answered there.
I doubt he is her bro, but he very much might know him. Hegel can't lie. I mean, yes, it's not wrong. Maybe he's her cousin. Also, wasn't the Temple of the Falcon like the first temple we did?
This abandoned temple does bear some marks of the Abyss. The Falcon of the West. Though it can soar in the wind, it ultimately does naught but hover under the light of the gods.
What are you talking about?
Oh, it's nothing. Let's head inside.
Abyssal traces. The abyssal traces have led you back here. Will the Abyss Herald rear its head and let you witness its transformation brought upon by the abyssal gospel? Commanded element, Cryo. Diona Destin.
The scent of the abyss is getting stronger. It's not far now.
Paimon wonders what the Abyss Heralds look like. Do they look something like the Abyss Mages?
Let's head further in first. If we do see that creature, that'll spare me the explanation either way.
Keep back!
Boing, boing, boom! Da, da, da. Boing, boing, boom! La la la. I'll protect us. Think you can bully me? Boing, boing, boing! La la la.
Well, there goes Diona.
Oh, snow wine. Let the show begin.
Just a few Abyss mages? Seems like that herald might have already left.
Could you tell me more about the Abyss Order?
The Abyss. It is chaos, and it is also destruction. It is a morass of inconceivable madness that encroaches upon this world's very foundations. That is why even the Dragon of the East, a servant of a deity, was unable to resist its corrosive powers. And the creatures of the Abyss desire nothing less than the overthrow of a world ruled by the Archons.
You seem to know a lot about the Abyss, Dane.
Well, we do have some history. I suppose that's as far as chit-chat goes. We should head to Wolvendom. Judging by the traces I'm following, their next appearance may be within the territory of that old wolf.
Oh?
Perhaps we may find our Abyss Herald there.
You think? I mean, there are a lot of wolf hooks here, which can be found there.
Let's do.
Please don't make me fight the wolf. That's the only thing I don't want to happen. It is very well leading me to its arena.
Well, we're in Wolfendom now. Think Dane's waiting for us up ahead? We should meet up with him quick, in case the wolves decide they don't like him.
Lord of Wolvendom, great Wolf King of the North. Sharp of fang and keen of claw, and yet dwelling here only.
You're familiar with that wolf?
No, nor does it know me. I only know these things because a previous traveling companion of mine once wanted to hear its story. All right, let's go see if that Abyss Herald has stopped by here.
Well, where do we begin? Are you standing here because of these strange bonfires, Dane?
Very strange.
Indeed. See that? Floating above the flames? It's an abyssal spell. Knowing what I do of the Order's habits, they've probably left similar marks behind elsewhere. Let's have a look nearby.
That one's closer.
monsters by the bonfire are under the Abyss Order's control? Looks kinda scary. Let's beat them up first. Absorption test. Stand clear. Stand clear. Swirl, Mark 2. Oh, no! Oh, no!
Burst forth. Moments of birth. Come into being. Live.
That's that. Let's go check out that bonfire. Looks like this bonfire's also got something to do with the Abyss. I'll protect us. Looks like the Abyss really has been around here. Yikes! Where did these monsters pop out from? Let's clear them out, and quick! Animal test 6308. Stand clear. Animal test 6308.
Burst forth. Burst forth.
Quick, you said, and quick I did.
I'll protect us. Woo! Da, da, da.
Have you finished searching?
We found lots of signs of the Abyss Order. 2, at least.
I searched around these parts and found some signs myself. But they were left behind by Abyss mages, and there was no deeper abyssal power to them. It seems that even an Abyss Herald would not wish to make trouble with the Wolf King of the North. We should leave as well. If there's anything praiseworthy about that old wolf, it's his territorial nature.
But now we're out of leads. Are we going to have to give up?
No. There is one more place we can go.
One more, okay.
Let's get a move on then. I'll wait for you at Storm Terror's lair.
Don't make me fight a dragon.
Let's dance.
I've heard about what happened to you during Mondstadt's crisis. When you came, this place was known as Storm Terror's lair. But I suppose that this place is more lair than Storm Terror at this point. In fact, if my memory serves, this ruin has had largely nothing to do with that dragon for a long time. The first time I laid eyes upon the ruins of Old Mondstadt, the dragon of the East had yet to fall, much less come to nest in this place.
Huh? But Paimon remembers that Dvalin first got in trouble hundreds of years ago.
So you must be pretty old then.
Don't think too much about it.
I will.
Do you remember the light actuators that once sealed this ruin?
Yeah.
If the Abyss Order is interested in this location, then they will not neglect those mechanisms. Let's go see what the situation is at those light actuators.
Actually, it's light.
Look! There are lots of monsters gathered over there.
And it's the kind of Abyss Mage we didn't fight yet.
Let's dance. Animo test 6308. Animo test 6308. Animo hypostasis emulate.
Live! Feel this ancient power.
You aren't handling this combo very well.
Burst forth. Moment of birth.
Fine, go! Absorption test. Fine, go!
Well, that hurt.
Stand clear. Animo test 6308. Stand clear. Swirl, Mark 2.
Well, I threw that off the cliff. That was not the plan.
Burst forth. Witness my great undertaking.
Can't climb up because of my flower.
Live! Feel this ancient power.
Absorption test. Stand clear. Stand clear.
Burst forth. Feel this ancient power. A miscalculation.
Oh, so in the end, we still couldn't find that Abyss Herald. Bummer.
It's quite a shame.
I wouldn't call not having to gaze upon such a creature a shame exactly. Still, I do believe that you will come across one eventually.
That sure is a tease for the future.
No, you're right. If it's a really powerful monster, it would be best to go around it.
How good it would be if all perils one encounters in their journeys could simply be solved by going around them.
Speaking of experience, are we?
Once upon a time, yes. I simply have experience from adventuring together with that traveling companion.
You know, Dane, you keep talking about that person this and that person that. Where are they now, anyway?
Dead, likely.
He no longer travels. I'm afraid that traveling can be too exhausting at times.
Oh, is that how it is? Well, why are you traveling alone then?
I still have some things left unfinished. Once they are done, I too will return home to rest.
Yep, and it's good to have a home to come back to, isn't it? We camp out a lot when we travel. Hey, once you find your sibling, we should find a place to stay too, shouldn't we? Mondstadt's Fisherman's Toast is pretty tasty, but Liyue's one-man restaurant is great too. Either way, we should settle down in a place where there's good food.
Getting a bit ahead of yourself, I think.
Home. Well, it won't be too late to think about where you stay once your journey reaches its end. While you're still traveling, you should...
I sense something familiar on that cliff.
Huh? What's familiar?
I felt it for a moment the previous time we came here too.
A familiar feeling, you say? It could be someone you know well, or perhaps a monster.
Could it be the Abyss?
Whichever it is, we should see it for ourselves, and thus see clearly. We can reach the top of that cliff from over there. Let's go.
Whoa, Dane moves really fast, doesn't he? Let's use that wind current nearby to catch up. Let's dance.
No time for dancing. This place is new, isn't it?
Can you still sense that familiar feeling that you spoke of earlier?
It's nearby.
But it doesn't feel like there's anything around here. No monsters, no people, nothing.
Indeed. There doesn't seem to be anything strange about this place. It doesn't look any different from the last time I was here.
You were here before?
My traveling companion brought me here on our previous journey.
Did you travel with our brother?
So, Dane, what about you? What's your favorite place?
Me? I no longer remember. I merely followed that person around on that journey. That's all there was to it. Huh? A ruin guard's footprint. A ruin guard was wandering around here?
Sure, footprints.
No peace to be found, even for a single dandelion.
What's gotten into you? You were just spacing out.
This dandelion reminds me of. I could feel him.
Huh? You mean your brother? But how could that be? You only touched that dandelion for a second.
Yes, the moment I touched it.
Perhaps that dandelion bears some sort of scent that only you recognize. As for why, has it perhaps experienced something related to you?
Did he touch it? Can we feel the energy off of it?
You're saying some real confusing stuff. Paimon doesn't get it at all.
Regardless, I have to get to the bottom of the...
Do not rush. Vexation and anxiety are the enemy of rational thought. Your journey has only just begun, has it not? At least you now know that he is still on this world. At this time, the most important thing is the journey to find him itself.
And I will find him.
Yes, and this is something you must keep in mind as the meaning behind your journey. May you find your kin at the end of that journey. Well then, let us part ways here for now.
Huh? You're leaving? Already?
I mean, we only paid 500 more.
Only for now. Don't worry. We will meet again. After all, I did take 500 mora and those 3 answers you gave me.
Gears of Destiny. I've started to turn once again.
Woo! La la la!
Say the line, Paimon. Whatever is beyond here, that is for much, much later. This, I'm pretty sure, ends the story as far as it is in the game. Now we'll have to wait for when the Inazuma part of the story is added. Maybe we'll return in the meantime to do some character stories or events. Or maybe it will not take that long for the next part of the story to be finally released. But for today, this is enough. We have done quite a lot today. So, thank you for watching. And goodbye. Yep, it's just the 2 cities of Mondstadt and Liyue. Next is Inazuma.